Hello and welcome to an antique steam engine that could be due to repair. This first bit of the clip is being filmed actually at T's Cottage pumping station. This is because one of the volunteers, it's owned by one of the volunteers' friends, and they've asked me to repair it for them. So I'm just getting a quick inspection here. As you can see, the crosshead here is completely knackered. Well, not knackered, it's fixable. It's just not working right now. So the first thing to do is obviously lubricate the engine. I haven't got an air compressor at T's Cottage, so I'll wait until I get home to run it on compressed air, or at least try to. So obviously I'm lubricating it with some Hallett's steam oil. So not forgetting all the moving parts. Like I said, everywhere something moves, and also eventually inside the piston as well, if there even is one at this point, because at this point, I really don't know. It could just be a bit of metal, it could just be a bent bit of, I don't know, who knows really? You never know what you're going to get into with these little engines. All I know is this engine is quite old, it seems to be quite old, and it seems to be an apprentice piece as well. It could be a bits and pieces of other engines amalgamated together, but I personally think it's an apprentice piece, handmade. And to be honest, it is a decent job, for if it's an apprentice piece, it's a decent job. So now I'm putting some oil inside the piston. It is important to get plenty in there, because I don't know how long it's been since this engine's even been turned over, let alone run. So I'm just filling it up, which will obviously lubricate the valve and the piston. Just getting a bit more in there. This is just Hallett's oil, Hallett's steam oil, and giving it a turn over to work it through. And I can already feel the engine getting a bit freer, but that second crossbars which is bent is stopping the engine from working properly. So as you can see, it's just been moved out of the way. Putting a bit more on some of the moving parts which I missed before, and working it in. You can see that crosshead is going to be a bit of a problem eventually, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it. I've just been tightening up these bolts which are loose, done the back pedestal and this. Got to do this pedestal now and any other ones that are loose. So now we're back home. We're going to actually give the engine a test. Highly doubt it's going to work, but I feel like the valve timing is actually not bad, because if you look, this starts open there, let steam in, close there, let steam out. Now this is actually stopping it, so just temporarily I'm going to then we'll actually swing this bit off here. Wait for that to, there, because that's actually in the way at the moment, and it's meant to be there, but it's doing more harm than good. So let's give it a go. Not even trying. Yeah, not even trying. Got a lot of leaks though. So now we're going to take the cylinder head off and have an inspection. So these are just held on with screws, so we're going to take these off. So now it's got the final one to come out. I'm screwing it now. There we go. Right, there is the piston. And I'm going to take the top of the valve chest off as well. Now that's the weird thing, there's a bolt missing there. That's a bolt, which will get my spanner on. Barco adjustable spanner, a very useful tool to have in your workshop. What I found by putting the airline in here, this is actually the port. You put that in there, air's coming out of there. I'm assuming it's the same on the other side. Yeah, you can't see it from the other side. I mean, the piston seems like a decent fit, but it's a bit tight, so I think something's binding here, which I'll have to check out. Well, I've loosened a few bits up, which are tight, and it is a lot freer now. Although it's still a tight spot, but I think if I give it a good lubricating, but I think the seal's gone in these. But this is a very old engine. It's a very sympathetic restoration. I'm not going to do anything major. This will need, obviously, reattaching back on somehow. We'll cross that bridge later. But let's get it lubricated. And we'll try it again and see if it runs. I'm not hopeful, but you never know. So I've flooded the cylinder with oil. I'm going to put some more oil in the engine because it will need it. So I'm going to pump it over a few times, get rid of excess oil in the cylinder. Just have to tighten up that bearing on the flywheel. Okay, I'm going to give it a go with compressed air. We've got some movement. Got some movement. Well, as you saw, we had a bit of movement, so that's definitely an improvement. Before I proceed any further, I'm going to contact the engine's owner to check what he wants to do. Thank you for watching and goodbye.